by Domino.
They've just executed. They really have. The Cardinals have made the mistakes they swore they weren't going to make when we talked to them yesterday. Keyshawn Johnson stepped up. Adrian Morrell stepped up. Frank Reich's having a game. But silently, the Jets defense has played another strong half of football.
Every time, they've had the Cardinals had 2 interceptions. The Jet defense, again, stepping up and stopping them.
Now we get to the point we talked about, Charlie, finding a way not to lose. They found a way to win the first half. Now can they find a way not to lose things when you get the positive thing going in the second half?
All right, now let's take a look at the halftime stats brought to you by Coors Light.
Well, it's Jets, and more Jets. They have the lead in every category, including turnovers. And those 2 turnovers did not hurt them. The amazing thing, besides the rushing and the passing and everything else to me, is that time of possession. 20 minutes to a little over 10 minutes, basically. That is impressive.
And again, the Jets being led by the quarterback, Frank Reich. Neil O'Donnell still recovering from that shoulder injury. And there is Keyshawn. He just, he brings everybody to another level, doesn't he? He's that good.
He really has. And a lot of what you see out of this kid, his attitude, his smile, his laughing, is infectious, I think, to his teammates. And 4-0-18, they reflect that type of personality. They also sort of reflect the personality of Richie Kotite. Their head coach at 0-8 is a tough guy, a former boxer type guy. And you don't hear anything out of Richie about complaining. Gee, I've had injuries. Gee, I've had this negative happen to me. He just doesn't do that. All he talks about is, my guys have worked hard. If we win a game, we've got to win it for them.
He doesn't point fingers, you're right.
No, he doesn't. And
he doesn't make excuses when we see him.
But that can work to your disadvantage. When the piranha smell a little blood, they're going to go after you.
Okay.
And
Should we point? No.
And the piranha have been after Richie Kotite for quite a while.
That's true.
Like he says, you're judged by your results. And so far in the last X number of games for Richie Kotite, the results have really stunk. But his team today has come to play a football team.
The Arizona Cardinals with Marcus Dowdell and McElroy as the return man will have the ball to start the second half. And here's Leland McElroy on the return. Pops it loose at the 20, then across the 25, and is wrapped up at about the 27-yard line by Lonnie Young.
And just what we talked about with Leland McElroy. He went, then he looked. He went, he was fine. When he looked, he got tackled. The best guy with the view there was, you saw running on the field, was Kent Graham. And, he's the important guy for this offense for the Cardinals in the second half, not to do anything goofy. And when you're a quarterback with this type of an offense, goofy means trying to make things happen. Forcing. It's another cliche, but taking what they give you. Kent Graham's got to take what this defense gives him and don't get greedy.
He's down 17-0. Play action fake. Doesn't hold anybody. Passes low and incomplete to Frank Sanders. Ray Mickens had picked up the coverage. And he's giving them a little bit of encouragement as they come back to the huddle. 2nd and 10.
This is that West Coast offense Jim Fossil's got here. You have to understand, why in the heck do you play action?
Why do
when you don't run the ball?
Yeah.
Well, you do that in this offense a lot of times because there are routes you like against a particular defense. They happen to be on a play-action pass, so you run it anyway.
All right, here's a short flanker on the short slot on the near side, and 2 wide receivers. With pressure, underthrown again. It'll be 3rd down and 10, and a flag is in. No, it's not going to be 3rd and 10. Aaron Glenn for the Jets. And pass interference is the call against the Jets. So one of the few mistakes that the defense has made.
Pass interference on the defense, number 31. Automatic first down. Going to go on the snap.
No one is ever guilty. Remember that. No one ever holds. No one ever has illegal contact. That is down the field. That hand in the middle of Moore's chest is Mr. Glenn's, and that is a flag.
That's a fistful of jersey. That's the reason for that call. Nice hold, good jitterbug move, still going. LaShawn Johnson. LaShawn Johnson had an eye problem. His vision was 20/70, and everything was fuzzy, including the football. He had laser surgery. His eyes are now 20/20, and he can see daylight and run to it.
Charlie, with the hole he had right there, watch the hole in this area right here to go through. Check this out. You can have 2200 vision. See this hole? I like 2 things. I like the hole, And I like him, you know, the way he runs. He runs quick, but he burns a lot of energy. This guy runs like a hummingbird. His feet are going quick, and his shoulders are going just as fast as his feet are.
An injury timeout after that 41-yard gain.
Is brought to you by Chevrolet Truck, most dependable, lasting trucks on the road. By the new Coors Light wide mouth can. Tap the Rockies with a smoother pour. By HBO, it's not TV, it's HBO. And by Pizza Hut. Now we've got your pizza.
Ray Mickens, the injured Jet, he is up and okay. And the Cardinals go from the Jet 31-yard line. Down the sideline, and it is incomplete. No flag. Good coverage down the sideline by Victor Green.
Remember last week, Charlie, Frank Reich threw one of these short passes like this, short underneath, and Keyshawn Johnson comes down with it. It's exactly what Kent Graham's trying to do, put that ball back there and let his guy come back at it, but good body position by Green.
Anthony Edwards unable to come back on it. Victor Green played his collegiate ball at Akron, and he's from the South. He really enjoyed the first time that he saw the snow there. He said, but that got old in a hurry. Anything up front? No, not that much for Larry Sitters. I'm going to mark it close to the 30-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and 9 at the 30-yard line.
And this is a situation for the Cardinals when they get it in 3rd and long against this defense. Now's the time you try to make something happen. Now's when you do something goofy. This is where you're in sort of field goal range, but if you do something goofy, it could come all the way back the other way.
3 wide receivers from the shotgun. Pass is caught at the 20-yard line and has it in bounds for the catch. It's bumped out of bounds, and it will be a 1st down.
Well, Marcus Dowdell just does that absolutely perfectly, running that route and having the presence of mind at the end when he catches this very well delivered Kent Graham ball of almost looking down to make sure he dots the I. He's being pushed by the defender, so he can't get the other foot down.
At the Jet 20-yard line, 1st down out of the far side, LaShawn Johnson, and he's just going to be ridden right out of bounds. Defense just sliding down the line and taking him out, led by Victor Green.
It is an opportunity for the Cardinals to jump right back in this thing, get right back in the Jets' face, and see if you score a touchdown here, you're going to get a great big uh-oh out of the Jets team. Vince Tobin knows that his team right now has this change. This is a chance to really swing the momentum your way by executing right now in this situation.
A loss of 3 on the play, back to the 23-yard line.
Well, Bobby Houston, the official stopped the clock a little bit here. Bobby Houston sort of limped off the field. We've got to get an update on that. He didn't look like he was in very good shape.
2nd and 13 at the 23. Jets show blitz. Blitz comes.
It's offsides. Offsides on the defense. Marvin Washington ends up with what looks like a sack.
Looks like he got there before the ball did.
Well, he wasn't the Lone Ranger because the better part of the Jets defense is inside right there. Look at Hamilton, 56 is in there. You have the guard blocks down, dies so he can get on somebody. And when he blocks down, Washington tackle gets right by him. That's offsides on the Jets defense.
Here's another look.
Remember unabated? It's another baited. They got baited.
Semi-baited. Somebody tried to throw a block on him.
Something about Kent Graham's cadence right now that's got sort of getting into the Jets' wheelhouse.
2nd down and 8. The ball inside the 18-yard line. And just another straight shot right up the middle by LaShawn Johnson. Matt Bryant with the stop. He's got the ball at the 15-yard line. Chelinski had a piece of the play. It'll be 3rd down and 5.
Bobby Houston came back in on that last play there. Exits the field right now in this 3rd down situation. Yet now is a down if you're the Jets defense, Charlie. There's a lot of things you might want to look for, allow for this, allow for that. you better make darn sure you allow for more at the top of the screen, number 85.
Favored target early on in the ballgame. Now from the shotgun. Has pressure from the backside. It's going to be a pass. It'll be an incomplete pass. The referee, Mike Cherry, motioning that the arm was going forward. So it'll be 4th down following the incomplete pass.
Well, Ray Mickens is better, Charlie. Watch him come from the top of the screen. Little corner blitz in a nickel situation. Arm was going forward, and Mickens gets there. Another great call. Jim Vecchiarelli had one last week where he sent Green coming from deep like that against Jim Kelly that came clean in the red zone. Another one. Remember, Greg Davis missed a 28-yarder earlier in the game.
From the 23, an attempt of 33 yards. It's within his range. He's hit from 49, and we've got whistles. And now we're set to go. Cardinals looking for their first 3 points of the ballgame. This is to the right, and it is no good. No good. So Greg Davis is 0 for 2, missing from 28, and now from 33 yards away. Our director is Larry Cavallina. I'm Charlie Jones along with Randy Cross. The Jets have the ball. First down at their own 23-yard line. 11:40 left to go in the third, and the Jets have the lead of 17-0. Adrian Morrell gets the call over the left side. He's going to pick up around 5 or 6 yards on the play. Eric Hill, the middle linebacker. For the last 5 games, Hill had totaled 75 tackles. #1 draft choice back in '89 from LSU.
Well, that's as it should be. I mean, you're middle linebacker. When you set it up like that with that defensive line, he should make all your tackles. That's one of the problems the Jets defense has had on occasion this year, is their safeties have had to make so many tackles because they lead the team in tackles.
Second down and 6 with 3 wide receivers. Cardinals show blitz, and it's coming. Picked up. Here's Morrell on the draw to the 30-yard line. Good for 3. It'll be 3rd down and 3. And a flag. We had a festival of flags in the ball game here this afternoon in Tempe. What a gorgeous day it is here. Whoa. All the way to the mountains, a little bit of cloud coverage.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness on number 70. 15-yard penalty, still 2nd down.
Remember what I
During
said.
continuing action.
A penalty is against O'Dwyer. Remember the Roberto Alomar sort of overreaction by you can't bump an official? Well, watch O'Dwyer, 70, come late in the game, late in the play, right here. Being aggressive, gets a hit right there, and that is what the penalty is called for, and that is your Steve Wisniewski overreaction. Wisniewski, the guard for the Raiders, was hit for a $50,000 fine a week or so ago, and that's just good hard football to me. I don't see anything wrong with that. I mean, honestly, I think that's ridiculous.
Well, you have to stay alert, don't you, at all times?
Yeah, the world needs more alerts.
Second down and 18, 15-yard line. The one thing the Jets cannot afford is, you're looking at the penalty 6 for 56, Arizona 5 for 84. You can't make any mistakes or they'll open the door and let the Cardinals back in this ballgame. Yeah. And right now the Jets are controlling the ballgame and controlling their own destiny to win the first of the season. Right to throw. Far side. Oh, incomplete. Corbett, he usually makes that grab. He had coverage in front and behind. Alexander was there, along with Ronnie Bradford.
Well, Charlie, really the key here is Reich's got plenty of time. He throws this into a delicate situation. I mean, you've got a guy diving Bradford. You've got a safety coming over trying to behead your receiver. I mean, that is dropping the thing on the money.
Did Bradford get a piece of it? Right at the end?
To be honest with you, I really couldn't tell, but it changed direction.
Yeah,
so somebody
that's what I thought. Yeah, so he got a piece of it because normally Correct just makes that grab. He has super concentration.
That's not an easy catch.
No,
I don't care who
his body's flying in front of you.
I mean, he made a great one last week against Buffalo towards the end of the game, but that one there would have been better.
Then he told us he saw that one all the way. He said, boy, he got there to hurry, and so did the other players. Now here is the screen to Richie Anderson. That was 3rd down and 18. The Jets will not pick up the first down. They'll be kicking it away.
Hey, in spite of the penalties, in spite of what's happened so far, missed field goal from the Cardinals, they are cooperating with the Jets. You know, you were used to seeing the Jets, Charlie. We've seen them 3 or 4 games this year where they'll sort of put on their own private stupid-a-thon. You know, they'll do all the dumb things. They'll make the mistakes. They'll do the turnovers. They'll have the penalties. Well, right now it's a dual stupid-a-thon at times, but most of the dumb things are coming from the other side.
Hanson kicking to Dowdell, who scoots up, takes it at the 32-yard line, has a block at the 35, does not get around the corner. Oh, a flag is down, has a reverse off of the spin after the fistful of jersey. Then he is tripped up, literally tripped up. All of that just to the 40-yard line. Then we'll go back and check out the flag. Bit of excitement, though.
Well, he ran somewhere around 130 yards back and forth, and he gained 5. That's called running for your health.
During the return, there was an illegal block on the back by the receiving team, number 28. 10-yard penalty, first down.
And the stupid-a-thon continues from the Cardinals. They're getting a lot of cooperation.
Called against Tommy Bennett. Season for the Cardinals. He called in.
That's a change.
Replace him,
That's a change for change's sake, Charlie. That's not what the Cardinals need here. The Cardinals need a burst, and here's a shot.
Flea flicker. They have a man open deep, and he has it. And it's Rob Moore. Moore on the flea flicker. The Jets scored on a flea flicker, and the Cardinals come right back with one. Whoa.
Richie Kotite, you just suffered a back at you. I mean, you've got to remember, this is Jim Fossil, offensive coordinator on the other side across the field. You know that's a staple of this form of an offense, this West Coast style. You've seen it from your team. Suddenly you're staring down the barrel of this one. Moore never really breaks stride. He ran right by Glenn. He reacted to the run, makes the tackle, stops him short of the end zone, but that would have been a change for change's sake of bringing Boomer Esiason in. This is the leader of this football team. It isn't Boomer.
3-yard line, first down goal to go. Nothing there. Victor Green with a stop. Larry Centers is just shut down right at the line of scrimmage.
You know, we talked about the Cardinals stupid-a-thon. Continued going into the last commercial. Well, they're starting to come alive. Remember, they've missed 2 field goals. I mean, there's a potential on the board here for Vince Tobin's team to get on the board here with a touchdown to make it 17-7 in a game that really realistically should be 17-13 because Davis has missed 2 chip shots.
Matt Brock being assisted from the field. 8:32 time remaining, just over 8.5 minutes. We're in the 3rd quarter, so there's a lot of time left. 17-0 Jets.
Little confusion. Think you're going to get a timeout here.
Ken Graham has a small problem if he wants to throw to his right, and that is as you can see from the shadows, he will be looking right into the sun, throwing to his right. So if he throws, as you can see here, you expect him to throw back to the left. They'll take it on the ground on the pitch. And not quite in is LaShawn Johnson.
Oh, he got close with that reach, though, Charlie.
They string him out to about the 1-yard line. Cascadden Moloz.
Yeah, the thing on that play, he reached with the ball at the end, but I think he reached as he was stepping out of bounds. That's why you see the ball marked there on the 1-yard line.
So it'll be 3rd down and goal to go. Watch the reach.
Watch the foot.
Out of bounds. Yeah, and then the reach. You're right. Good call. 3rd down and goal from the 1. And this is 4-down territory for the Cardinals as they trail 17-0. Throwing into the sun, looking directly into the sun. Tough play to Larry Centers. He's got it for the Cardinals' first touchdown of the ballgame.
Charlie, it's a lot easier to throw a ball into the sun than have the sun in your eyes when you're trying to catch it. And Larry Centers had nothing to distract him. He didn't have the sun in his eyes, and goodness knows he doesn't have a Jet defender anywhere near him. And when the #1 receiving running back in the NFL can run off in the right flat, little semi-token play-action fake, can be all alone, you know, the stupid-a-thon's changing channels right now. You've got a blown coverage on a razzle-dazzle flea flicker, and then another blown coverage, I think, on that one.
And the extra point is barely good. I tell you, kicking is an adventure with Davis this afternoon.
Auditions?
margin has cut to 10, 17-7. The scoring drive, 72 yards in 4 plays. As here is Henry Bailey on the return for New York. Not a very quick return. He's kind of looking, ghosting, waiting around for something to happen, and he did. He was stopped. Next Sunday, join us for an NFL on NBC doubleheader. Some of you will see the Cincinnati Bengals battled their division rival, the Baltimore Ravens, in the second game. Some of you to see the AFC Eastern Division showdown as Bill Parcells' New England Patriots host Jimmy Johnson's Miami Dolphins, and others will join Randy and myself at an interconference battle between the Kansas City Chiefs and the Minnesota Vikings. So check your local listings for the game in your area. Let's see what the Jets can do now as they start from their own 20-yard line.
What the Jets need to do is run their offense. Don't tighten up thinking about, you know, what's looking back. Don't look back there. It might be gaining on you.
And as you can see from the graphic, the Cardinals are catching up in the total offense. Ball pops loose. Cardinals have it. Morrell with the fumble, and the Cardinals come up with it. That is the 3rd turnover by the Jets. The first 2 were interceptions. They did not cost him, but this fumble certainly cost him.
I tell you, if the Jets blow this lead, you better hide all sharp objects from Richie Kotite. I cannot believe you fumble in that situation. That is not knowing how not to lose. That is what they've done in the past.
Terry Irving, the linebacker, recovers the fumble. Let's take a look and let's see who caused it.
Well, Charlie, I told you at the last touchdown that the stupid-a-thon has changed channels. That ball is loose and it's on the ground. That is not down by contact. That is definitely a fumble. It has not only changed channels, guys, it has changed sponsors. It's now sponsored by the guys in green.
Defensive end number 63, Michael Bankston, caused the fumble. At the Jet 15-yard line, first down. Great shot right up the middle. Spinning all the way is LaShawn Jackson inside the 5. Oh, the Cardinals have life in the second half.
You think the momentum change doesn't go quickly in this league? A big play on a flea flicker, you get a touchdown right after that. And this will get a team fired up to see a running back like LaShawn Johnson attacking the line of scrimmage. And he is actually attacking the tacklers. The tacklers, the safeties, are very good tacklers for the Jets, but in that case, he attacked them before they were ready to hit.
And it's LaShawn Johnson again, this time off the right side. He'll go to, maybe the 2-yard line. Might be just inside the 2-yard line. It's going to be second down and goal to go. Gary Jones was there to close the hole on him.
Larry Centers coming back into the game, Charlie. Remember how wide open he was last time.
Centers is number 37.
Remember, it's not just wide receivers that can be decoys sometimes. When a guy's that good at catching it, he makes a great decoy.
3 wide receivers. Centers is the remaining back. Offset to the left. Into the end zone, and it is incomplete. Rob Moore was hit just as he caught the ball by Aaron Glenn that knocked it loose. Glenn nailed it.
We sometimes refer to great timing as something that happens between a quarterback and a wide receiver. Here's great timing by a defensive back. I mean, talk about simultaneous arrivals. Ball, Glenn, no catch. Good try by Moore, but that play was made by Aaron Glenn.
2-yard line, third down, goal to go. We have a timeout taken on the field. With the score, the New York Jets 17, Arizona down now by 10, but trying to cash in. And again, I would say that they're in 4-down territory. They're going to trust any field goal attempts in this ball
Not
game.
with Greg Davis, no. Mr. Toad's wild ride on 2 feet.
All right, the MetLife blimp flying above us, co-piloted by Snoopy, dressed as the famous World War I flying ace. See, there's on the right side, and so that's the co-pilot seat. And today, rather than searching the skies for the Red Baron, Snoopy is enjoying this NFL football action here in Tempe, Arizona. He is so good. Did you see him today in the paper? Funny as always. I tell you, Charles Schultz comes up with this day after day and Sunday after Sunday.
Well, that big old feet of his on that blimp, though, if he could learn how to kick, he'd get a job here in Arizona right now.
You're right. Third down and goal to go. Sinners the fullback. Johnson is the tailback. Wide open to center. Wide open to center, just like you said. Just like you called it. Graham to Sinners again. This time from 2 yards away.
Well, he was thinking about jumping in the stands, but that's a tall order. This is no Lambeau Field. Watch the pick. There's a blitz coming. The pick is run perfectly right there by Frank Sanders. That's what opens him up. That was not a blown coverage. That's good pick execution. Any doubts about who leads this football team in Arizona?
And the Cardinals cashing in on the fumble by Adrian Morrell. And with the extra point attempt, an opportunity to pull within 3 right down the middle.
Charlie. Ruh-roh.
17-14.
This stupid-a-thon here in the second half, mainly because they tightened up. When things go good for this team, they expect something bad to happen. That makes them tighten up, I think. They need to just relax and play football.
And here's the kickoff. Henry Bailey on the return, and he's going to end up losing some yardage. And the Cardinals now have the crowd back in the ballgame. They haven't been here since early in the first quarter, and they have some enthusiasm. Devon McDonald making the tackle.
Hey, this crowd's only going to get so loud, Charlie. Bleachers can't scream. And, you know, when you got to go 15 yards, 4 plays, 15 yards, minute 28. Larry Centers again. Gee, what a shock in the flat, wide open.
This is the first time that Larry Centers has 2 touchdown passes caught to in a ballgame.
If you're a defense against the Jets here, you attack and help them make another mistake.
Jets starting from their own 10-yard line. Here's Morrell, right side. Maybe a yard. That's going to be about it.
The defense is attacking and they're ball hawking. When players get nervous, when players get tight, their concentration lapses. And nowhere is concentration more important than when you're carrying that football. And if your attention lapses for just a half a second, that ball could be stripped out of your hands. So, you know, if you're in the white jerseys playing defense, you know you've got the momentum going. You know you got the crowd screaming. Give them an opportunity on the other side to make a mistake.
5 minutes to go in the third. Right to throw, passes right on target to Jeff Graham. Oh, it's Kyle Brady. Kyle Brady caught one. That is only his 4th reception on the year, but it is a big one because it's good for 18 yards.
Charlie, you got to understand, you know, your reluctance in calling Kyle Brady, just given the fact of how far down the field he is by himself on this pass. I mean, this is the furthest he's run in 1996 without company. He's usually got linebackers all over him. He separated, and he got away.
And he pulls it in. Good play, 29-yard line. Jets in their own territory. Adrian Morrell, right side. Little bit of a hole. Squirts through to the 34.
Got a flag down.
Holding on the offense, number 70. 10-yard penalty. Still first down.
On Matt O'Dwyer.
Sometimes you have to overcome yourself, and the self being the team here. And part of yourself you're overcoming is mistakes by guys. O'Dwyer's had an unnecessary roughness, which I didn't agree with. He's had a holding right there, which God knows I can understand. But
we get it all the time with the 49.
But it's time, you know, life is timing, and this is not the time. This is not the time to get called for a penalty. This is not a time to get overexcited and jump off sides, and not a time to lose your concentration and drop a football.
Right to throw. Deep over the middle. Reaching for it is Keyshawn, and it is incomplete. Could not quite get there, just half a step away. So it's going to be second down and 20 on the 19-yard line, and here's number 19 again.
Well, watch Keyshawn Johnson reach out for this pass, but watch under his arms a shadow and a body, Matt Darby. Darby was sort of on the horns of a dilemma here. He couldn't decide whether he wanted to light Keyshawn Johnson up or go for the interception. And I think if it had gone for Keyshawn, he'd hit him hard, but if he reacted quickly, he might have had a pickup.
3 wide receivers. Setting very quickly, throwing down, sliding grab at the 35-yard line. Keyshawn does it again.
You know, when a receiver like Keyshawn Johnson calls for the ball, I guarantee you Frank Reich is going to find that raised hand. And he's going to drop the ball in an area. And when he drops the ball, that's what Keyshawn's got to do, is get down, get the safe catch, and get the yards. See, you don't draw that pattern up. That's a receiver getting open, finding the hole, and getting the ball.
3rd down and 4. Jets leading now by 3. Graham in motion, 4 wide receivers. Right, good protection. He can scramble for it. Don't slide too soon. No, he kind of tumbles in head first. What happens when you slide, as soon as you start your slide, that's where the ball is marked, not at the end of the slide. But this time he hangs on to it, puts his head down, and the ball will go with him to the 40-yard line. That's going to be the 1st down.
Well, you know, sometimes, Charlie, if you're a quarterback, you got to slide now so you can play later. Because if you don't slide now, you're going to pay now. Watch this. Very, very good idea to slide right there by Frank Reich.
He needed 4, he got 5, and he got the 1st down, converting on 3rd down and 4.
A nice job by Ron Earhart's quarterback right there, too, because Reich saw that zone defense, 4 guys rushing, and everybody else dropping off.
2 tight ends on the set. As you saw, Keyshawn is on the sideline. Reich is going to throw out of this set, and the pass is complete to Fred Baxter, who is the number 2 tight end. First reception of the ballgame, only his 5th catch on the year. And he's a great special teams player. Good Alexander with the tackle.
Yeah, this is almost like throwing a tackle eligible if you're on the Cardinals side of the field, really. The Jets have used the tight end position so little, I doubt if the Cardinals worked on that position at all during the week. They worried about Corbett, they worried about Keyshawn, they worried about Morrell, and they just considered the tackles, I should say tight ends that are tackles, non-factors.
18 yards on the play, 1st down. Play action fake, fires far side on his knees. Keyshawn has it out of bounds. And he has the 1st down.
Not only does this play get 10 yards, not only does this play get a 1st down, I got to give it some serious style points. Well, watch this. You got the route, well run. You go to your knees. I don't know if you got to do that, but, you know, that adds on the style point end of it, you know, because Aeneas Williams has been driven so far off, he got time to kneel down and get fancy.
And the judges say 9.9, 9.8, 9.9 on style.
You got a whole row of judges on the other side.
Here comes the blitz and the draw. Morrell stretches it out. Good call picking up the blitz. Brad Otto makes the tackle.
This is just what the Jets needed. The 8th play of the drive right now. You get your play going. You start making some plays. You take care of the football. Remember, sometimes you have to overcome yourself. Well, yourself there was O'Dwyer getting that holding penalty, and right now Richie Kotite's offense has overcome himself.
Moment ago, his 1st down and 20. Jets at their own 19. Now to 2nd down and 2 at the Arizona 23-yard line. Morrell stops, turns back, drops. He's going to lose a yard to the 24. The 3rd down and 3. About half a minute left here in the 3rd quarter. And the Jets are going to say, oh, it's okay. Let's go to the sideline. We'll discuss this.
You know, one thing the Jets have done, and I think it's a great job by Kotite and Earhart, is they've mixed this tight end into the point where I think Vince Tobin is more than not just kind of guessing. They got the tight end in there. You haven't seen much Corbett. You've seen Keyshawn Johnson on the critical receptions, but suddenly now the tight end rears its ugly head, and it is a factor.
New York Jets at half led 17-0. Now after 3, they lead 17-14. And we'll be right back after these messages from your local station. Quarters, the Jets shutting out Arizona in the 1st half, and the Cardinals shutting out the Jets in the 3rd quarter. And there's a man that should be shut out, I think.
That is.
Listen, you know, he's a couple of slices shy of a full loaf.
Well, you know, you look at this thing, and I'd rather not look at him.
Yeah,
but you look at this game. God, that's ugly. You look at this
You know,
game.
who that is? That's Seth Joyner.
The
Throwing out
yeah,
the ball, getting back in.
Investigation. The Jets led last week going into the fourth quarter against the Buffalo Bills.
It's so bad looking.
And they found a way to lose that football game. Remember we talked about at the beginning of the show?
Yeah.
Richie Kotite finding a way not to lose. I mean, the heck with finding a way to win. Their team isn't good enough for that.
Tell me about the Cardinal defense that they've been running here.
Well, so far, Vince Tobin's defense in this half has really ran a lot of zone, a lot of dropping back, especially in this red zone. They run a lot of what he used to run in Indianapolis. You go 4 across the end zone, you make everything happen in front of you, and you don't let people score.
5 wide receivers. 3rd down and 3 from the shotgun. Over the middle, passing. Corbett has it inside the 10. Cuts back, he is to the 6 or the 7-yard line. Wayne Corbett, one more time. That's the 3rd time in this ball game that he has converted on 3rd down with a 1st down reception.
And exactly what we talked about, Charlie. They go into a 3-man rush, a zone defense. They're dropping off. Corbett is in the right flanker position, just cuts across the middle. He's got the dream matchup, though, because by the time he becomes a legitimate receiver, he's got Ron McKinnon, the rookie out of Northern Alabama, chasing him. Corbett on a linebacker is a wonderful matchup for the Jets.
6-yard line, 1st down, goal to go. A little run off the right side. Not much is there for Adrian Morrell. Brad Ottis makes the tackle. Corbett picked up 16 yards on that 3rd down reception. 5-yard line, 2nd down, goal to go. There's a bit of a dilemma as far as the Jets are concerned. Obviously, you want to score. But you want to take a lot of time. You want to start taking some time off of that clock.
I don't know if that's really a factor. I think what you do is you get the ball in Keyshawn Johnson's hands and score as fast as you can.
Here's Adrian Morrell to about the 1. Just short of the goal line. Michael Bankston was there. So it's going to be 3rd down and goal to go, this time from a yard away.
And the Jets, Charlie, are going to do something a little bit different. You know, you expect a lot of times when you get into the goal line situation that you got nothing but the great big wide bodies and the power offense in there. This is not a power offense setup that Jets are going to bring out here.
Morrell and Anderson are the running backs. Morrell over the top, push back, stretching out, reaching for it, has it. All he has to do is break the plane while the ball is in his possession, and he gets the call from the head linesman. And the Jets have scored, and they've stretched their margin just a bit.
Adrian Morrell gets the 2nd rushing touchdown of the day against Vince Tobin's defense, and just a good 2nd effort. Watch the bodies. Watch the color of the jerseys. The Cardinals stop him. Watch where the ball is. It's over. It's 6. It's loose. Doesn't matter. It was after the score. Good 2nd effort by Adrian Morrell because the push was initially stopped by that Cardinal defense. And this drive is just what Richie Kotite and the Jets needed.
Now for Nick Lowry to add the point after, and the margin for the Jets will go back to 10. And this one veers to the right, and but it does make it 24-14 Jets. The continuing effort of Adrian Morrell.
Luxury automobiles, the result of a relentless pursuit of perfection. By American Express. Wherever you are, whatever you're doing, American Express helps you do more. And by IBM, solutions for a small planet.
All right, Richie Kotite, nice drive by the Jets as they come back, recapture now a 10-point lead. Vince Tobin, his counterpart for the Cardinals. Silvestri kicking away. The 90-yard touchdown drive that they had. Here's McElroy on the return. Now to the 20. Has an opening. Breaks clean the 25, the 30. The race is on. He could score. 40, 30, 20. He is caught. Carl Greenwood. Whoa, inside the 10-yard line to the 8-yard line.
For all the character and guts that Richie Kotite watched his offense show in a 90-yard drive in a critical situation, his kickoff team ruins that effort all in one little span right here. Look at McElroy. Look at the piano jump on his back right here. You don't think this guy's a little bit tired? Look at him start running straight up. Folks, that's Silvestri, number 5, the kicker that almost ran him down.
92 yards on the return.
Well, for all the work that Richie Kotite's offense did for him in the last drive, 90 yards, 13 plays, once again, he needs his defense to step up.
First down, goal to go, 8-yard line. Deshaun Johnson gets the call. He's going to go close to the 6. It's going to be second down and goal to go.
Well, that was a touchdown-saving tackle by Rick Hamilton, Charlie, in the hole. Because LaShawn Johnson was just starting to hit speed. I mean, he was just getting ready to go to warp when he got dragged down by the foot.
That 10-point margin in danger now with 12 minutes left to go in the ball game.
Now, this is plenty of time, obviously, from both sides of the ball to find a way to lose.
Cedric Smith and LaShawn Johnson are the running backs. Graham to throw, has time, end zone, touchdown, Cardinals.
Rob Moore.
The ex-Jet strikes again. And suddenly 10 became 4, possibly soon to become 3 as the margin for the Jets.
Just when you thought it was safe to go back in the water, another shark bites you. Kent Graham celebrates there, and Richie Kotite has got the same uh-ohs working again on his sideline. Just when they thought they had it after that 90-yarder, they let the Cardinals jump right back in their face.
Greg Davis with the point after, and this one just scoots through. Oh, yeah. 24-21.
To you by Domino's Pizza. Call now to enjoy a delicious Domino's Pizza during the game. For hot and wow, call Domino's now.
11:47, time remaining in the fourth. The Jets now lead by 3. It's been cut to that margin for the second time in the ballgame.
And Leland McElroy there, the rookie out of Texas A&M, just jumped out of a cold streak.
Oh, he did. 92 yards on that kickoff return.
He wasn't doing much coming into the game returning it, but wow.
Here is Henry Bailey at the 5 for the Jets. The easy counter, but slips the tackle, has a bit of an opening, drop across the 25 at about the 27-yard line. Ronald McKinnon makes the tackle, 22 yards on the return. There's the scoring drive, 8 yards in 2 plays.
What a contract.
Yeah.
2 plays, 8 yards.
Yeah.
What was the last one? 13 plays, 90 yards.
Yeah. Set up by Leland McElroy, the rookie taken in the second round of the draft from Texas A&M.
Talk about doing it the hard way.
Yeah.
Do it the hard way by Frank Reich, and then you turn around and let the other guys do it the easy way. That's how a stupid-a-thon works.
27-yard line. First down.
You that gets immediately gives.
Wide to throw. Lots of time. Good protection. He throws it away. Well, he was out of time. He had Richie Anderson in the neighborhood. Eric Swan was also in his neighborhood. An opportunity to check the ticker out, see what's going on today in the National Football League. See what's going on here. The Jets led at halftime by a score of 17-0. That margin was cut to 17-14. Now they stretched it back to 24-14, and all of a sudden it's back to 3. They had a 10-yard cushion, and now they have a 3-yard cushion with a lot of time. Reich has completed 19 of 27.
And had to take a timeout there, but better to take a timeout than to try to make something happen, to tighten up and make a mistake in that situation.
We'll step aside, back in a moment. Ready to go, just over 7.5 minutes between Jets from their own 24-yard line. Keyshawn Johnson comes across in motion. Right pump fake, comes back, throws, passes complete. This is Corbett. He is pulled down. But he has about 7 or 8 yards on the play, Wayne Corbett.
Nice tackle by Alexander, though. Got him by the back of the jersey as Corbett was heading. I mean, he was getting ready to be gone. And Alexander just grabs him at the last minute. Keyshawn Johnson, they ran him deep and ran off the coverage on top. And look at that tackle. That's having a good grasp of your technique there by Mr. Alexander.
Third down. About 2.5, close to 3. For the first down, look for Corbett into a crowd drawing triple coverage. Here's a New York Jet. Well, we got to wait to see who comes out of the pile. Guess what? It is number 86, the rookie Alex Van Dyke. That is only his 10th reception of the year. Nice play. They were all over it, weren't they?
Well, they were. I mean, you threw it right into a double coverage type situation. Van Dyke was lined up at the position that you normally see Wayne Corbett at. But a good pass by Frank Reich. And just another duplication right now so far. Last drive, remember, 13 plays, 90 yards. They're not making the mistakes.
Well, the defense, they're going to say, well, he's not 80, but we'll double cover him anyway. Adrian Morrell gets the call. 41-yard line. He's got a couple. Second down and 8. We'll watch the clock. 9:56 and counting.
Yeah, one thing this does too is that not only does this quiet the crowd, such as it is here in Arizona, but it also kills some of that momentum. You know, you had jumped on the Cardinals, then suddenly you'd given them a chance to really be alive and be excited. Now your offense comes out and has a chance to really put the water back on that fire.
And you saw the former Jet quarterback, Boomer Esiason, now the backup quarterback in Arizona. Now going deep, and it is pulled in. Another great reception by Wayne Corbett. Not down by contact. He can get up and run, and he does. A good reaction after a great catch, but back downfield, a flag at the 42-yard line.
Might get a push-off here on Corbett. A lot of contact right there down the field before that ball was in the air.
Pass interference. Gives the offense, number 80. 10-yard penalty. Still, second down.
I mean, just a wonderful circus catch by Wayne Corbett. I mean, a nice throw by Frank Reich, all of the above, yada, yada, yada. But what happens down the field?
Wait a minute, that's what I was saying.
Well, I mean,
I'm in the yada, yada, yada now?
Well, that's the yada, yada, yada part.
That's my job.
No,
I'm the yada, yada man.
Well, okay, well, there was good yada, yada besides a good catch, but you know what? It doesn't count because Corbett pushed off when he came to the collision point with the defensive back. He isn't going to like it, but it was a good call.
You know what that is? That's a lot of yada.
Watch, lower part of the screen. There's Corbett. See the left arm pushing out like that? That's exactly what they call Corbett for. It isn't vicious, but it is illegal.
So it goes back to the 31-yard line. It's second down and 18. There's pressure all around right. Gets the pass away. Keyshawn Johnson, a couple interesting moves in the open field and turned around and ran right into Ronald McKinnon. The attendance today, just over 34,000 tickets sold. 6,000 no-shows. There's 28,088 in attendance. 35-yard line. Third down and 14. 8.5 minutes left.
And what this crowd is seeing, you know, really is a very philanthropic football game. Because both sides is trying to give this thing away right now.
Jets have converted 10 of 12 third down opportunities. And this is a tough one. Third down and 14. Jets still leading by 3. Going for all of it to Keyshawn, and it is incomplete. Keyshawn had pinned the defender against the sideline, but the pass was too far to his right.
Yeah, there was really nowhere for Frank Reich to go. It was a wonderful job by the Cardinals defense down the field of zoning this whole thing off. Look at DJ Johnson, 44. He will not let Keyshawn behind him. That's his job. He will not let Keyshawn get to the sideline. That's his job. And Frank Reich cannot do his job because of the defensive job done by the Cardinals.
Well, Brian Hansen is going to kick it away. And it's pulled in at the 19-yard line by Marcus Dowdell. And he has a few yards on the return.
Got a flag down at the 40-yard line, Charlie.
On the far side of the field at the left 40-yard line. And we have a holding as a preliminary signal.
could be big if it is holding, Charlie.
During the kick, there's a holding by the receiving team, number 42. 10-yard penalty, first down.
It's Kwame Lassiter. That does hurt the Cardinals.
Well, it really does, backing up like that. I mean, I told you, the whole art of giving is not being afraid to embarrass yourself when you're giving. And both these teams are not embarrassed by giving the other guy a shot, because they're giving a lot.
The Christmas season is early. Back in a moment.
On NBC, Buster doubleheader. First, Jim Harbaugh Colts clash with the San Diego Chargers. Then Dan Marino leads Jimmy Johnson's Dolphins against Bill Parcells' Patriots. Or the Vikings host the Chiefs. Or regional action. The NFL on NBC next Sunday.
The 0-8 New York Jets at halftime led here 17-0. Then it was cut to 17-14. Jets moved again, 24-14. It has been cut down. Jets 24, Arizona 21. Cardinals have the ball at their own 9-yard line with 7:55 time remaining in the ball game. Play action, fake turns and fires, incomplete. Misses everybody. So it'll be second down and 10. The Cardinals from their own 9. And for the Cardinals, their last 3 possessions.
Well, I mean, touchdown, 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 because the Jets have given them some pretty good opportunities, and they've executed well. I mean, that's the whole thing of where this thing's at right now. They've given the opportunities up from the New York Jets side, and Kent Graham and this offense have executed when they've done it, and they have not been able to cover Larry Centers out of the backfield.
The Cardinals also been penalized 7 times for 104 yards. Deshaun Johnson off the right side. He's out to the 14-yard line. It'll be third down and 5 yards to go. So the Cardinals with a crossroads third down opportunity now with just over 7.5 minutes left in the ball game. Marvin Washington and Mike Chilinsky on the last tackle.
And what you've seen out of Kent Graham today is why Vince Tobin and his organization like him so much at quarterback. Very calm, very consistent, very cool. Not making the big glaring errors so far. Giving the leadership, doing what he has to do to get his team in the end zone.
Deshaun Johnson has rushed for 85 yards for the Cardinals. Now 3 wide receivers from the shotgun. 4 receivers on the pattern, and the pass is right on target to Rob Moore, the former Jet.
And you got a flag down. Got a little push-off pull interference right there at about the 30-yard line.
And the call. Holding against the Jets.
Well, I'll tell you what, you got any questions about the arm strength of number 11, Kent Graham?
Oh, he
Holding
drilled it.
by the defense during the pass. That penalty is declined. First down.
Take a look at this guy.
Well, I guess they refer to it in baseball as, bringing a little hemp, getting the rope out there. Rope. That is a rope. There was a little hold there by Mr. Glenn, was where the interference came into play. But Kent Graham stood up and let that one fly.
28 yards on the play, converting on third down and 5. Now the Cardinals at their own 42-yard line. Play action, going deep. There was a misread. It could be intercepted. No. Victor Green could not get there in time. Oh, he almost had it.
And Kent Graham just got drilled at the end of that play. That's why that fair catch was necessary on that punt that was lofted up there. Watch Mo Lewis and the defense attack. Right here.
Ooh.
Marvin Washington. And you know what? That could have been a flag.
Oh, yeah, he went at his head.
That could have been a flag. Hit him right in the hand, not only with his helmet, but also with his hands. Right in the head.
Second and 10. You're watching the NFL on NBC. The Jets leading by 3, 24-21. 6:43 left in the ballgame. Overthrown. Way overthrown. Craig Sanders, the intended receiver. Victor Green was there. Graham does have a strong arm.
Well, you don't always have to throw it 40 yards when it only needs to go 20. I mean, he gunned that one. Hey, I want to say something right here, Charlie. Remember one thing. Last week, we had a New York Jet had an opportunity, Victor Green, to intercept a pass on Jim Kelly. He didn't do it, and the Jets ended up losing that game. Victor Green, again, had a chance to intercept the ball in the fourth quarter and couldn't quite come down with it. Hopefully this week, for the Jets' sake, that doesn't come back to haunt him.
Remember what Larry Centers told us yesterday? We asked you about Graham's touch. He said he has a great arm. He's working on his touch. This is a little touch pass, though. He shows it there. He goes to Anthony Edwards. Edwards, the 4th wide receiver. Mark Gunn with the tackle.
You know, and to a degree, too, that shows you a little bit of that maturity of Kent Graham. We talked about the fact that, you know, this is his 21st start as a quarterback, you know, dating back to high school. But, you know, he shows a little maturity there in not trying to make something happen. He took the guy he knew was open. He didn't force it down the field.
He had 1 start at Notre Dame, 10 starts at Ohio State, 4 starts with the Giants, and 4 prior to this ball game with the Cardinals. The Cardinals now kick it away. This is Corbett. Lets it go over his head into the end zone. And they'll bring it back out with a touchback. So the ball will now move to the 20-yard line with 5:54. That is the time remaining. 55 yards on the kick. And the score, the New York Jets, the record again is 0-8. The Arizona Cardinals are 21. The Jets leading by 3. Tonight on Dateline. Morrell, McLean, he's 30. 15, cuts back at the 5 and is down at the 2-yard line. Adrian Morrell, 78 yards. That is his longest run from scrimmage this year. Whoa.
Remember, find a way not to lose. Last 2 drives is finding a way not to lose. Here is a play where the Jets just flat out manned up, blocked the Cardinals, and a play in this situation with 5 minutes to go is finding a way to win when Aeneas Williams comes from behind and can't strip the ball after a long run like that, and you get that 78-yard run, and your offense has the ball on the 2-yard line.
Morrell, now that was his 27th carry in the ball game. He has rushed for 179 yards. And we have a timeout. The New York Jets taking their 2nd timeout of the ball game, and they will have of this half, and they will have 1 timeout remaining. You look for the spark. You remember last week when we were talking, you said, like with the 49ers, they find a way at the end of the ball game. They were down 21-0 to the Bengals. They find a way to win, and the good teams do.
Yeah.
And right now, the Jets, maybe for the first time this year, are finding a way to win because they were in danger of letting this one slip away.
Yeah, I tell you, the most surprised people in this stadium right now are not the fans. They're not the Cardinals in the sidelines. They're the guys in the green jerseys on the other side, because they've just watched something absolutely positive done by that guy right there, Adrian Morrell, and they're going, hey, you know, maybe we can do this.
That's right.
Don't get tight. Stay loose. Keep thinking that.
And the Jet offensive line, they open a huge hole for it. Here's Reggie Cobb around the corner, dives through, he has the touchdown. Reggie Cobb with his first touchdown of the season.
Well, if you're looking for a positive sign, Richie, to talk about at the end of this game when things are over, to the media, to everybody, to the people that have made as much fun of your team as people have, talk about the fact that your offense has scored 3 touchdowns now on the ground. 3 touchdowns rushing. I mean, the Jets have gone years, it seems, in the last couple of years without scoring 3 touchdowns in 16 games, much less 1 game.
An 80-yard drive in 2 plays, 59 seconds. Nick Lowry to attempt the point after. The margin is 9. The Jets lead by 9. And they now lead by 10. We'll step aside with 4:55 left in the game. Back with the kickoff in a moment. The 92-yarder in the ball game, but this time they're going to string him out of bounds. So let's now see what Kent Graham can do. Lonnie Young, the special team, took him out.
And Charlie, this is all kinds of world of time. 4 minutes and 44 seconds is no big deal. I mean, Vince Tobin's team's got to be on the sideline saying, hey, look, not a big deal. And if I'm Rich Kotite on that other one, you know, if I see anybody high-fiving or celebrating this in a green uniform, I'd take their head off if I was the Jets coach.
31-21 Jets by 10. Pass coming to the near side to Larry Centers. He has great hands, and he has very large hands. Talking with him yesterday, comparing the size, and much bigger than mine and even larger than yours.
Yeah, well, you know, he catches it with his hands, But the most important thing on him once he catches the ball is his feet, because that's why he makes people miss, and he made a few Jets miss there.
Graham scrambles. He can run with it. He's a big kid. And he goes to about the 43, maybe the 44-yard line. Graham 6'5", 247. Carl Greenwood and Lonnie Young were there for the Jets.
He doesn't scramble at his size, Charlie. He ambles.
But he does amble along.
He's about 5 miles per hour short of a scramble.
Oh, this is dropped. Right in the hands of Larry Sinners. Perhaps where he needs a bit more touch than what Sinners was talking to us about. You know, he said he's working on his touch.
It's kind of like in Denver with John Elway, you know, and Denver playing a heck of a game today. And, you know, John Elway, you know you're going to get a gun. And Larry Sinners knows he's got a gun in number 11 in Graham. So there's no real mystery. No. It's just, I think, in the heat of the battle, they forget. They don't know how fast it's coming. They forget what it was like.
3rd down and 2. Sanders goes across in motion from the shotgun. 4 receivers and passes complete to Larry Sinners. You may wonder why he keeps throwing to the fullback. Well, there's a great reason, because he leads all running backs with receptions in the National Football League at 47 coming into the ballgame, at 101 last year, and he picks up 11 yards here to the Jet 46-yard line.
You know, the main reason, Charlie, he can't. The Jets aren't covering Larry Sanders. They haven't all day.
How can you not cover a Larry Sanders?
Yeah, I mean, Larry Sanders has been all over the field today, especially in critical situations. And when he's not hurting this defense for the Jets, it's been Rob Moore. Remember, Moore caught the last one. Don't relax. Don't celebrate if you're a Jet. If you're on the other side for the Cardinals, quiet efficiency. There's plenty of time left.
Here's the draw to Larry Sanders. It was 2nd down. He needed a yard. He just wanted to pick up the 1st down, and he does to the 35-yard line. And the clock continues to move. 2:52 and counting time remaining. And the hurry-up offense. Shotgun with 3 wide receivers. Lots of time. Goes to the end zone. And it is overthrown. Marcus Dowdell, the intended receiver. Here's a reminder that following the game on most of these stations, it's Dateline Sunday. Then is 2 all-new must-see comedies, Third Rock from the Sun, followed by Boston Common, plus the world premiere thriller, The Secret She Carried. Now, viewers on the West Coast, you'll be seeing these shows at their regularly scheduled time. Speaking of time, 2 minutes, 36 seconds. Time remaining in the ball game for the New York Jets, who lead by 10 in search of their first victory of the ball game.
Well, Richie Kotite had to know the first one was not going to be easy. He was going to have to suffer and bleed for one, and he's not done suffering or bleeding right now.
And you're right. Pump fake, comes back underneath it. Delayed screen to the left side to center. He's to the 20-yard line and then goes spinning out of bounds at the 14-yard line, stopping the clock with 2:28 left. 21 yards on the play. Victor Green got it.
I mean, somehow, some way, Jim Fossil is finding a way to move this guy around. You know, you wonder with this personnel how potent this offense can really be. The job that Jim Fossil right there with the glasses on is doing here with the Cardinal offense, I think, is phenomenal. And when offensive coordinators start doing the job like Jim Fossil is doing the job, that's when your name starts coming up for head coaching jobs.
Where's Larry Sinners? Well, he's back standing beside his quarterback in the shotgun. He comes out right, is tipped, and then incomplete. It was up off of the hands of Rob Moore. Aaron Glenn went diving for it, and he couldn't pull it in. Gary Jones was also there.
Charlie, they wanted to give again. I mean, they had it out there. They had the can out there. They were going to drop it in there, but no. They wanted to give more to a good cause as far as the Jets are concerned, and they just wouldn't take it.
2nd down and 10. 2:23 time remaining.
Remember, the 2 weapons that have killed this Jets defense, Centers and Moore.
Jets lead 31-21. A little fade in the corner, and it is intercepted.
I tell you what, I can't believe that is not pass interference.
I'm looking for a flag. There has to be a flag. You're absolutely right. Lonnie Moore with the interception.
Watch what's happened. This is Rob Moore in the end zone. Aaron Glenn, he's holding there. That's not really necessarily it. But I tell you, Glenn, you're down the field. Remember, it's 5 yards. I tell you what, that's pretty surprising. With that kind of contact in a close game at the end of a game like that is not called. One more time, watch it. Remember, the ball's on the 15. There's 5 yards. Contact, grab. I mean, that is interference. That's two things. One, it's interference. Two, it's a bad throw. Kent Graham does put that ball up where Lonnie Young can get it, but it was pass interference to start with.
Don't say it's uncatchable because the pass interference, the grabbing and holding took place before the pass was thrown. The Jets take over. Following the interception by Lonnie Young, his first of the year, Adrian Morrell then, after the touchback, carries from the 20-yard line.
A little sweet revenge. Lonnie Young, one of the only 3 in the NFL right now who was a St. Louis Cardinal. Coming back here, and it is Lance Smith, Jay Novacek with the Cowboys, Smith with the New York Giants. And Lonnie Young comes back here against his former team and probably gives Richie Kotite, without a doubt, not probably, the biggest play he's had in 1996 to give him a heck of a chance to lay his first win on the table.
And now with 2 minutes and 9 seconds, that is the time remaining in the ball game. Timeouts, the Jets have one and the Cardinals have one. Cardinals stopping the clock here. They'll get another stoppage, of course, at the 2-minute warning.
The Cardinals kept giving. The Jets finally took one. The key here, don't give anything away as far as the Jets are concerned.
Adrian Morrell to the 33-yard line. We'll take the countdown to the 2-minute warning. So officially 2 minutes now left to go in the ball game. The Jets have a 10-point lead, 31-21. Be back for the conclusion in a moment. For 192 yards. Not only are the yardage a career high, the rushes also a career high, and he has scored a touchdown.
And remember, we talked at the beginning of the game, Charlie, this guy's going to be a 1,000-yard rusher. He had 500 and some odd yards coming into the
542.
game. You add 192 on top of that, and you are well on your way.
We'll add that in as quickly to the
734.
Okay. Good. Whoa. Second down and 8. 735 and 736. Adrian Morrell continues to carry. The Cardinals now will take their last timeout, stopping the clock at the 1:54 mark.
But, you know, to say that one run is really what did it for the Jets, I think is to an extent missed the point. It was that running of Adrian Morrell early that set up the flea flicker that went to Johnson for the touchdown. It was the running of Adrian Morrell and this offense that set up the passing game of Frank Reich today most of the day.
It got tougher and tougher and tougher to get that first victory. Harder and harder, and then with a lot of injury. But the Jets now have the bye week, and they can really get as healthy as they have been since early on in the season to start what for them is the second half.
Well, yeah, I made the point last week. We looked at that schedule coming up last week, you remember. I said they better get that first one next week because it's a long, ugly haul from there. And most of their next schedule for the next month or so seems to all involve the AFC East.
It does. And off the right side, adding to his total, is Adrian Morrell. After the bye, they have New England, at Indianapolis, at Buffalo. They have Houston, at New England, then Philadelphia and Miami, as you take a look there. That's what's remaining. That's a handful.
Of all these teams going into the year, this one right here, Houston, might have been the one you'd say, well, gee, that's probably the easiest team out there in that stretch. Not anymore. Remember, the Houston Oilers today lost to the Niners 10-9. Jeff Fisher's done a wonderful job there. So, you know, Richie Kotite and his Jets, all they have is a week off. They're not getting any breaks. They're going to get Marvin Jones back. They're going to probably get Douglas back. And those will be big add-ons for this defense. But the best thing they've done today, and what they have to continue to do, is get this running game going and keep getting the ball to Keyshawn Johnson.
Now the Jets used all of the time that they possibly could on the clock. Then they took their last timeout. They run the clock down to 1 minute and 8 seconds. It will be fourth down. They will be kicking it away. And Marcus Dowdell will be the return man. Washington with a big victory. There's that San Francisco-Houston game on the ticker that you were talking about. 49ers by 1. Pittsburgh continues to roll. That was closer than I thought it would be. Philadelphia over Carolina. We'll see the Eagles in a couple of weeks at Buffalo. Green Bay. Oh, they're tough. Hey, Tampa Bay holds them close, though. They're getting stronger. The Giants with a big win. Good for the Giants.
You have to be very, very happy for Bruce Kozlik, too. He takes over for David Shula. First game back, 28-21 winners. I mean, they haven't had a coach 1-0 in a long time in Cincinnati.
Baltimore wins. Denver is huge over Kansas City. And now the Cardinals looking for a big return by Dowdell out close to the 30-yard line. Seattle out in front of San Diego. And we have another flag here. And I have a report on the San Diego-Seattle game that the announcer's namesake, Charlie Jones, the touchdown reception from 27 yards.
Running into the kicker, number 86 on the receiving team. 5-yard penalty. The measurement brings him. First down.
That penalty on the Cardinals.
Watch what happens right here.
That's Trey Junkin. Long snapper and special team artist.
You can be a little too aggressive. You know, Trey Junkin, you know, long snapper, special team specialist, fourth string tight end, occasional receiver. Now, that's just a case of being a little too aggressive and getting the penalty for it.
You know what you're seeing the Cardinals do here? What the Jets have done in recent ball games, late in the ball game.
Yeah, exactly. Especially that interception as you're driving down, trying to get back within 3.
But here's another one. They would have had at least, the Cardinals had at least the ball on their own 30-yard line and an opportunity. Now that's gone.
They have found a way not to lose.
Yes.
And found a way to win a ball game all in the same day. Richie Kotite and his staff, Richie Kotite and that organization have got to be awfully happy about it. I mean, I wouldn't be popping any champagne for it. You know, this is not the New York Yankees in the World Series. I mean, the best team in the city is definitely playing baseball right now. But they've finally got off that ought.
And that will do it as the Cardinals are out of timeouts. They will just take the countdown. And for this man, Richie Kotite, I tell you, one of the nicest men in the world. I tell you, he's so well liked, and it's been such a long, tough year. And now he has it. He has the victory. And believe me, as happy as the New York Yankees are, you could put them all together, and Kotite is happier than the entire team.
Well, the unusual thing, too, is they've done it giving things up. They've done it making mistakes. They've done it taking chances to do something bad, but they've overcome their mistakes. And for that, I think specifically Frank Reich and the offense have to be very proud with the job they did today.
The receivers, Wayne Grabett doing it constantly on third down and with punt return. Keyshawn Johnson giving that spark, and the smile on the face of Frank Reich tells it all. Once again, the final score, the New York Jets 31,